So many people are asking the question right now, when is the time to buy the TAO dip? The Bittensor token went through some FUD over this last weekend. I'm going to go over the factors as to why all signs are pointing to simple malpractice by one individual that has nothing to do with the broader TAO ecosystem, and really just speaking on when I would be DCAing the heaviest into the TAO token. We all know FUD causes prolonged fear for most investors. But when you look at the bigger picture here, nothing has really changed. And I'm going to go over the levels that if you really want to try to sit on your hands and see this play out, that I would be looking for massive DCA opportunities on the TAO token. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. And as always, some housekeeping here. Like the video down below if you enjoy the content here on in the game across crypto, or everything you need to know to win in the markets in 2026, and subscribe to the channel for more around TAO and the broader crypto space. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on in the game. We have some incredible sponsors, and one of our sponsors is literally hosting a competition, giving away $120,000 in prizes. That is Blowfin. Blowfin is where I trade with centralized exchanges every single day. And this competition starts here in about a day and a half. So you do still have time to register throughout next month, but the competition begins tomorrow, and you can drop down below and join Team Hustle and compete for your share of $120,000. It's a great opportunity if you have a skill in trading to show it off. Hit the Blowfin link down below and join Team Hustle. Now, let's get into the video. Like I said, I know a lot of people are fearful right now around the TAO token, especially seeing Bitcoin doing very well. Bitcoin's up almost 3.5% on the weekly time frame, up 5.5% on Ethereum, 14% on Hyperliquid. We did a crazy good video yesterday around how to get 100% APR on your Hyperliquid, and also how to live off your hype without ever selling hype. So that was a great video. If you didn't check that one out, check it out after this video. But the one thing that's concerning people in this market is, man, Bitcoin's going up, but TAO got hit with this FUD, and now it's just retracing. It's down 25% this week. So Hustle, what should I be doing? Are you giving up on Bittensor TAO? Do you think that it's a rug pull? Is it the next Luna? These are a lot of the things that I have seen across comment sections, but a lot of people also showing that they know the ecosystem as a whole is so much stronger than what has just occurred. So right now, Bittensor is lagging. And what tends to happen with tokens like Bittensor during these time periods is there's going to be big dips. Whenever there's fear, people sell, people spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is FUD, across the timeline saying, don't buy this token, we're going so much lower. And theoretically speaking, this could go below $200. I'm not going to sit here and say that can't happen. I'm fully aware this dip could continue just based off of misunderstanding of what is happening in the ecosystem. But there's so many factors showing that this is going to be short-lived. Number one, and ironically, number one is this is the best AI coin in crypto. So whenever you look at the bigger picture, the second that AI tokens start to pump again, this is going to catch so much liquidity. And we see here, this is proof in the pudding that it was not Bittensor at fault here. It was the founder of these subnets. It was the leader of these subnets. It appears that Sam, the person who owned the 3 subnets that dumped $10 million on his followers, on his ecosystem holders, on his alpha token holders. He sold $10 million worth of tokens. He's now trying to raise money. Put this into understanding. This guy had a company that he did not have to run away from, by the way, in Templar, that was getting praise from NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, and he decides to go sell $10 million worth of tokens, blame Bittensor for his malpractice, his own malpractice, and then come over here and say, I'm trying to raise money for these projects. It makes absolutely no sense. Unbelievable fraudster is what the Bittensor founder is saying about this. And it is a shame because right now, TAO would be 400 plus. This guy absolutely killed the momentum on the token. And we see some comments here. You think we can still reach there? Absolutely. But there is a short-term Rocky because of the stain on it at this moment. 200 incoming first. I wouldn't be surprised, to be completely honest. But that doesn't mean I'm not bullish on the token long-term. So you can be looking at these DCA levels, even in the low 200s, as absolutely crazy good value, considering where this token was. I mean, it was at 360 just a week ago, and it was the talk of the timeline. It was probably headed to not even just 400, 500. Given the Bitcoin trajectory this week, I don't know. I could totally see Bittensor trading at $500 if this didn't happen. The next factor. So we see proven fraud. Like this guy sells $10 million, basically exits the ecosystem, points fingers at Bittensor TAO, and then says, I'm looking to raise money. That just speaks so many volumes by itself. Number two, the subnet 3 is actively working on being recovered, and on top of that, they're trying to find a new leader to lead this tech. And the founder of Bittensor says it took them 3 months to train a conviving 1 billion parameter model. They will do it in 1 week. It took them 1 year to train 30 billion. We will do it in 1 month. So they are going to accelerate the tech on subnet 3, and I think cause pain for the fact that they exited this ecosystem. And he is actively, like I said, looking to get him out of the network. So right now, the guy is still getting alpha tokens just based on his ownership of the network. But the founder of Bittensor is working on some parameters to make sure that it gets in better hands. And that plan is actively in the works to change over leadership of subnet number 3, which is formerly Templar. But now, as you can see here, it is named Teutonic. And let's look at the broader factors. You look, the institutional levels, the mainstream levels, the media, the big funds, they are still all in on Bittensor. Bittensor TAO was spotlighted at NASDAQ's trade talks. Evan Malenga, the chief revenue officer of Yuma Group, which is one of the biggest funds and really just subnet avenues on the Bittensor network, explains that the Bittensor ecosystem is one of the biggest stages in traditional finance, or it was discussing the ecosystem on one of the biggest stages. This intersection of AI and crypto is getting harder for TradFi to ignore. And we do see some smart investors on the timeline saying bought some TAO. When the FUD clears, this will skyrocket since it's the literal leading AI project. Buy and hold. I absolutely agree with that. And we do see Grayscale. The other day, I showed the percentages, but I wanted to read their reasoning as to whenever it did drop, TAO, whenever it went down, there was some FUD because people were looking at their overall portfolio, and it actually shifted it down to like their second or third biggest holding out of their 6 AI token portfolio. But we see here, they added 12 percentage points to TAO's allocation, as noticing a noticeable shift in their portfolio by moving from a roughly a third to nearly half of the fund's weight, which now occupies the dominant position in the relevant Grayscale product. The rebalance reduced exposure to other holdings in order to accumulate more TAO. I mean, the writing's on the wall. I know we've been talking about Bittensor TAO a lot on this channel for the last 2 years, but really over the last month, as it's really rose to be one of the most prominent ecosystems in all of crypto. And we're going to continue to deliver that value for you guys, for the TAO community. And because I just think centralized, wrong word to use in crypto, navigating and actually having conviction and just a few projects and delivering value, making sure everyone's up to date, and really stacking my conviction and my portfolio into those few that I really believe in, like Hyperliquid, like TAO. I don't think you need 50 altcoins. I think you really just need a solid handful, less than 5 this cycle to make it, because we're not going to get the 100x opportunities that we saw in 2021. But if some of these coins can simply 5x, even some of them maybe 10x over the course of time, and you have size appropriately into these quality projects, that's all you're going to need. And I think people are just, our minds are so wired differently being in crypto for so long. But TAO's the type of opportunity that I am looking to scoop up this dip at this point in time. So what levels would I be DCAing? Well, for me, after a 25% dip on the week, and then literally seeing the writing on the wall that the guy is trying to raise more money after stealing $10 million from basically his holders, I don't know. That alone shows me that this dip is absolutely unwarranted. This token should be priced higher despite these events. And just because of the nature of crypto, we've slammed it into the ground. People have called it a rug pull for no reason at all, when it was just one person causing all of this tumultuous activity. So at 245, I think if you're willing to stick it out for the long term, great buy. But I wouldn't be surprised, just given the way that FUD affects projects, to see it lag for the short term. So if you want to try to wait it out for closer to 200 or maybe even lower than 200, we could get it, especially if Bitcoin slows down. So Bitcoin's the key factor here. If Bitcoin continues to go up, I think you have to take a stab at these levels. If it anywhere between 200 and 250 is a great long-term DCA, especially considering where this token would be right now if this didn't happen last week. So for me, 245 is a great value position if you are holding long term. If you want just the best swing trade target that you're looking for, I would be targeting 200. I think that 200 is going to have crazy buy support. I think a lot of these big funds on Bittensor are already accumulating, but that 200 level, I think, is going to be a big wall that a lot of funds are going to build up a lot of capital on. So if you really want to try to wait it out and take a gamble, basically, that it's going to go down to 200, you certainly can do that. For me, I think that right now is a pretty good DCA level, especially if you have a long-term mindset. And especially looking at the TAO subnets, a lot of these are still receiving positive price action and positive TAO inflows. There's only 2 of the top 25 subnets right now with negative TAO inflows. That's really impressive, especially given the FUD. People have only stacked more TAO. So the TAO flow means how much TAO is going into a subnet versus coming out of a subnet. And despite 3 subnets quite literally just obliterating their holders and causing all of this FUD, out of the top 25, only 2 have negative TAO flows. And those TAO flows only equivalent to 430 TAO, whereas some of these subnets have intook 10,000 TAO over the course of this month. So I say this all to show you all these metrics. And when you dig deep, this FUD is absolutely baseless. We see the old founder of these subnets trying to raise more money after running away with $10 million from this network. I understand the FUD short term, and I understand that's how crypto participants operate. They see something wrong or something happens bad, it gets plastered all over crypto Twitter, and it creates a sense of crazy fear. But when you look at the details and you look at the nitty gritty, you look at the on-chain metrics with the TAO flow going into these things, I just think there's really nothing to worry about long term. I will be buying at these levels, and especially if we hit closer to $200. So guys, that's today's update. As always, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts down below on Bittensor TAO, and I'll see you guys on the next video. As always, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.